One.
Welcome to the show. After the show, it happens right after the show. Cheers.
Oh yeah, I forgot we explode now.
Yeah, we explode.
Oh my gosh, how much fun.
Crazy.
I feel like my hair's flat.
Well, that happens some days when you're not planning on being on camera.
Right? It's
Sometimes,
like,
yeah.
that's really the whole illusion, is that we actually regularly do our hair.
That crosses my mind sometimes. I'm like, is it my day to shoot? Nope. But then I'll come in and be like, oh, the after show. I forgot about the after show.
Yep, that's exactly what happened to me. I've been wearing my hat most of the day, but no.
No, we couldn't
It's
put
in
that
the other
on.
room.
Yeah.
I'm not going the 30 feet to get it.
Man, this was such a fun video to write. Like, you put in, we have like a little list of potential video ideas, and yours was just this fun fact about how the books actually started coming out the year in which the story ends, and isn't that funny how I open at the close? And it was like, how do I make a whole video about that? Like, that's a fun fact.
Right. So like originally the plan was like for that to be like the big kind of like, oh, isn't that a cool reason why it would be I open at the close? And then we started going through it, and these 3 gifts that Dumbledore leaves to Harry, Ron, and Hermione just don't totally make sense.
And just, yeah, it's like, why are you telling them about the Deathly Hallows?
When it's supposed to be Horcruxes, not Hallows.
Right.
Yeah. It super doesn't make sense, and it's one of these things that, like, for like a blip today, I was like, is this story not written well? Like, is it written for you, the reader, to ultimately get all of the information, even if you step back and try to figure out, like, what was Dumbledore thinking?
Right.
Like, what were they going for here? Like, did they want him to find the Hallows? Like,
yeah, and he says, it's so weird. It's almost as if Dumbledore, it's like you give him the whole, he already told him about the Horcruxes, so it's like, now he's talking about the Hallows. To what end? Like, this whole extra side quest you have to go on? I mean, I guess they have 2. Maybe it's just find the wand.
They almost could have offered the idea that, like, yes, being Master of Death, like, if Harry could have gone into the final battle Master of Death, then even if he lost the duel, he could conceivably come back because he's Master of Death.
Yeah.
So,
or, like, the being Master of the Death would make you be able to overcome the twin cores or something.
Right, but they don't really give you that explanation as, like, part of it. Like, the idea that part of the key objective of their mission, without them knowing it, was for Harry to become the master of these 3 objects.
Right. You know, it's so weird, because it's like, I wish he'd, like, united them all at once, because, like, okay, this is a dumb reference, but I'm sure you will get it. We used to play a game called Diablo 2, and there would be sets.
Yes, we
right?
did. Yeah.
And so if you had, like, if you looked at, and so the way that works is, like, you have, like, sets of armor that your character can wear, and if you manage to collect, like, the hat and the gloves and the, like, chest plate for the same set, they would, individually, you might look at all 3 of them and think these aren't going to do very much. But once you put all 3 of them on, like, hidden bonuses would be revealed.
Exactly, right. So there were things you didn't know that they could do until you started equipping more of the same set. And then it was like, oh my god, there's so much better than I thought it was.
Yeah, because you're like, so if he's holding the Resurrection Stone and the wand and wearing the cloak, he's basically just holding the wand while invisible, right? How is that helping him fight Voldemort? But it's like, in my mind, like, oh, if he got all 3 at once, like, some extra power would be unlocked.
Right,
you know, that we didn't know about yet.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like the only thing even stronger than, like, the Elder Wand equipped is bringing the whole set together.
Is bringing the whole set together. So I thought maybe that's where they were going to go with it when I was initially reading it. But yeah, you're right. Like, we started thinking about it, and it's like Dumbledore needs Harry to die. That's his real plan. Right. But he tells Snape. Snape's the only other person who knows it. And then he tells Snape to go visit them, but not tell them.
But not tell them the
plan. So
how
is Harry supposed to figure this out? Or is he just assuming Harry will, like, land on it? Because he doesn't land on it individually.
Oh, right. No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, and so the other thing is, too, about this whole thing. So, like, the Deluminator doesn't make sense. Right. Like, hard stop.
Yeah, and it's insulting to Ron, but go.
Yeah, no, it is. But then, like, the stone itself, so, like, on my original pass of this, like, before we, like, started studying these books, my interpretation of what happened, because, like, Harry's ability to come back from King's Cross is, like, a little gray, you know, like, he's tethered by blood.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's immediately, like, Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. What always made sense to me on my first pass of the book is I thought that he, at the close, after he accepted death, he was walking in having this get out of jail free card. That was like my interpretation of how that went down. Like, I'm holding the resurrection stone, which means, yes, you can kill me, but I can come back.
Right.
Because I have this.
It's interesting that was your first interpretation because, like, yeah, the whole Voldemort took his blood into him, so his mother's protection survives through Voldemort, which is why he's able to come back, is not apparent. Like, it took me a few reads to realize, like, when I first read it, my interpretation was that Voldemort hits him and Harry has 2 souls, so he, like, kills the Horcrux.
Kills the one, right.
And that's his free pass.
Right.
Right, like, Harry has, like, he's like 2, Harry is 2 in 1.
Right,
So he
right,
does
right.
kill him, but he just kills the part that's himself.
Right.
But, like, that's not it either.
No, it's not. And that's the thing, it's so confusing, like, the number of different ways that Voldemort and Harry are tied together is, like, ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
They both have the twin cores, they both have, essentially, like, a Horcrux for
Oh, the
one
other-
another inside of
inside.
them. And because of, like, that idea, it's like, they can't kill each other with their own wands, for one reason.
Yeah.
And they both can't outright kill the other for 2 completely separate reasons.
Right. It's crazy.
Ugh! It's so hard to follow.
It is. Fortunately, there's us to explain everything to the people.
Yeah. You're welcome.
20 years later.
It was totally easy to figure it all out.
Yeah. But, Snape, yeah, I feel like he had to have a plan that didn't involve Snape, and I think we might have figured it out. The only thing is, like, would the Deluminator work in a different way that we didn't get to see?
And that's the thing, yeah. So it'll be interesting because I do think we'll see it in Fantastic Beasts.
Oh,
so
we definitely see it. It's in the...
Yeah. It's in the
Will
trailer.
we see it in a way that isn't involving people?
Right, because what they could do is almost like the Beauty and the Beast thing, like where the live action came out and they were like, hey, remember when we had all these plot holes? We're going to fix all of them.
Fixing the plot holes, yeah.
So they could come back and have the Deluminator do something that's like, you know, how do we get to object blank?
Right.
Why do we think he's going to France?
I have no idea. The circus? Is he got maybe an Obscurus? I don't know.
I feel like there's
Maybe
something
Credence is there. Maybe that's why.
there's something in France he needs. Huh?
Flamel.
Flamel!
Flamel!
The Philosopher's Stone.
Or the Triwizard Tournament, maybe. Hard to say.
Hard to say. Oh, gosh,
Anyway,
Triwizard Tournament
man, I
is
can't wait
amazing.
for that movie.
Yeah. This is literally like these types of like blippy conversations is just how we communicate with one another.
Yep.
It's like, hey, what about this? And then that. And then this! Video! And that's what we do for a living.
Bye.
Bye.